Hi guys, welcome back to Raman tutorial for GK channel. I am Channu Davangere. In today's class, we are going to discuss about some of the English methodology questions with their explanations. And you are watching Raman tutorial. If you are watching for the first time, please subscribe our channel and click on the bell icon. And you will find our Telegram group link. You can join our Telegram group for free. And if you want to get more updates on everyday basis, and here is the first question, and like this video is going to help you to prepare for your CTET and your state TET. And these are the questions which are taken from different state TETs as well as from CTET exam. Okay, here is the first question on your screen. Scanning is a reading activity which helps the learner to dash from the text, to draw the information, to enrich the vocabulary, develop the competence, and to know the meanings. Here, they are making a question for scanning. Scanning is a reading activity, it's a technique. There are two major techniques when it comes to reading. One is scanning and another one is skimming. Both are very important. Scanning is done for to get the information, to get the required information. So here option A, to draw our information, is the right answer. Okay, let's learn about skimming and scanning in detail, so that if these kind of questions, if they appear, you should be able to answer them correctly. Let's see. Skimming and scanning are reading techniques. As you know, we use rapid eye movement and we look at the keywords through the text for slightly different purposes. Where skimming is a reading which happens rapidly to get the general overview, whereas scanning is a reading technique where we use it to find specific facts. While skimming helps you to get the general information within a section, scanning helps you to locate the particular fact. Okay, these are the two things very important. Use skimming in previewing, means if you want to preview a text, you have a text, you want to preview whether it is good for reading or not, just preview it using skimming technique. And if you want to get the information, particular information, you have to scan. Okay, these are the two things which will help you to get the answers. So I have given the detailed notes, you will get it in our paid groups. Okay, to join our paid groups, you can call 8217670405. Here is the next question. Constructivist approach to language learning promotes. Here are the options: child-centered approach, classroom noise, teacher-centered approach, culture of silence. Here, in the constructive approach is always seen as a child-centered approach. So that is the answer. Constructivism always focuses on the pupil more than on teacher. Let's see about constructivism. It's an approach to learning that holds that people actively construct or make their own knowledge, that reality is determined by the experiences of the learner. Here, teacher is not the focal point, but the student is the focal point. Knowledge comes out of him because of he is having some experiences, past experiences. He constructs knowledge depending on the past knowledge. That is the main idea, central idea of this. Let's see some of the principles. Constructivism's central idea is that human learning is constructed. It is built upon like a brick upon brick, and that the learners build new knowledge upon the foundation of the previous knowledge. Here, learning is seen as an active process, not as a passive process. All knowledge is socially structured. Here knowledge comes out from a community. Okay, Vygotsky theory of proximal zonal development says that knowledge comes with the help of the society. Environment provides the feedback for the development of the language. Let's take the next question. Phoneme is what kind of technique? Phoneme is a technique to improve pronunciation, single sound unit, sound pattern, lexical item. In the given options, B is the right answer. Phoneme is a single unit sound. Okay, that is the answer. Let's see some of the explanation. Phoneme is the smallest unit of a word that makes difference in its pronunciation as well as its meaning from another word. For example, let's take the word soar. Soar starts with S sound. Let's take another word, roar. Soar and roar both are words distinguished with the just a pronunciation of R. That's why phonemes are the smallest unit of the sound which makes the difference in its pronunciation. There are total 44 phonemes in English, including consonants, short vowels, long vowels, diphthongs and triphthongs. Phonemes have distinct functions in the English language as b, t, d consonants that are missing in some of the languages. So, learning about phonemes is very, very important. I'm going to have a class in upcoming time about these phonemes. Let's take next question. Dash is a prerequisite to learning a language. Motivation, reading stories, knowing words and their meanings, knowledge of the grammar. Here, motivation is very, very important. A human being cannot learn anything without motivation. Motivation may be two types: intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation. But both motivations helps the learner to gain interest in learning process. So motivation is the prerequisite. Next question. According to which of the following linguistics, language cannot be substandard, it may be non-standard? Who said like this? Here the answer is William Labo. Is that person? He says that one cannot accept the substandard, but one can accept non-standard. So option A is the right answer. Next question. Which of the following is not a language component? Very, very important question. Here, out of the given options, script is not a language component. Structure, sound, vocabulary, these are the components of language. So script is not the that thing. It's a symbol, written symbol represents sounds, but it is not in reality it's not a component. Let's learn about these things in detail. Let's begin with language. What is language? It's ability to produce and comprehend spoken and written words. Language means it's an ability to produce and comprehend the spoken and written words. What is linguistics? Linguistics is the study of the language. Some of the very, very important items in linguistics. One is grammar. Grammar is a set of rules for generating logical communication. All the languages, as you know, have the grammar. Native speakers, they have internalized the grammar. Grammar comes to them naturally, but not all the times. They tend to make mistakes as well. Every language has a lexicon. Lexicon means vocabulary. So it's a part and parcel of language. Phonetics and phonemics are the study of individual units of sound. They are the part of the language. Morphology is a study of the words and other meanings of units of a language. Morphology studies the words and their meanings, whereas syntax is the study of sentences and phrases, and it studies the rules of grammar which sentence obey. Semantics is the study of sentence meaning. Pragmatism is the study of sentence meaning in context. Semantics studies the sentence, where pragmatic studies the sentence in the context. So these are some of the key items one has to learn. What is syntax, what is semantics, what is phonetics. These are some of the very simple items I have introduced. Next question let's take. In order to improve the learner's pronunciation, the teacher first needs to use recorded model of sounds, do pronunciation drills, show the documentary or films of the target language, ask them to read. In the given options, option number 1 is the right answer. Use recorded model of sounds. A teacher can improve the learner's pronunciation by using recorded model of sounds. So here the option A is the right answer. Next question, let's take next one. Here is the first one. Problems of spellings error of the students can be easily solved through dictionary, textbooks, dictation and teaching aids. I have told several times that dictation is the methodology, dictation is the method utilizing which we can help our students to gain mastery over spellings. We can teach spellings, we can avoid making spelling errors utilizing dictation. Okay, that is the answer. Cognitive code approach focuses more on vocabulary, pronunciation, spelling, grammar rules. So here cognitive code approach focuses on grammar rules. So let's learn what is cognitive code. Cognitive code learning refers to a theory of second language teaching and learning rooted in cognitivist psychology which developed in 1960. The theory emphasizes the central role of cognition in the conscious and explicit learning of rules of the language as a code. The cognitive code of approach to learning a second language sees it as a study of language as a complex system with the goal of gaining conscious control of the grammatical, lexical and auditory patterns. It means that this cognitive code approach focuses on three major things. One is grammar, another one is vocabulary, third one is auditory patterns, means pronunciation. These are the focal points of cognitive code approach which was developed in 1960. A good listener, very easy question. A good listener, who is the good listener? Out of the given options, option number first is the right answer. Correct. A good listener is a person who responds correctly to the question which was asked to him. So the option A is the right answer. Who is the father of modern linguistics? Here option B, Ferdinand de Saussure is the person who is known as father of modern linguistics. Okay, he helped to lay the groundwork for linguistics and semiology, and who is a very important pioneer of structuralism and post-structuralism. He is from Geneva, you have to remember that. Next question. In order to have the language proficiency, which one of the following is not essentially required? Efficiency, fluency, appropriacy, accuracy. In the is not required. So here fluency, accuracy and appropriacy are required. Efficiency is not required and it is observed. Hence the option B is very option A is not required, I think so. So fluency, accuracy and accuracy are required, but efficiency is not very important. So here the answer is option A is not required. Next question, proficiency. Let's see what is proficiency. Proficiency is the ability to use the language in real world situations, in a spontaneous interaction and non-rehearsed context, and in a manner acceptable and appropriate to native speakers of language. Proficiency demonstrates that what a language user is able to do regardless of where, when and how the language was acquired. The demonstration is independent of the language was learned. The context may or may not be familiar. The evaluation of proficiency is not limited to the content of a particular curriculum that has been taught or learned. So it's a general category where it's an ability to use the language in real situations with spontaneous interaction. So that is the proficiency. Next question, intensive reading stands for. What is intensive? And there are two types of reading, intensive reading and extensive reading. What is the intensive reading stands for? Let's see. Intensive for the enrichment of vocabulary, reading for pleasure, reading for developing literary sensitivity, reading the text in parts for details. Out of the given option, D is the right answer. To get the details, we use intensive. Let's see what is intensive reading and extensive reading. Extensive and intensive reading refers to approaches to language learning and teaching. From their names, you can probably deduce that they both celebrate reading as an integral part of language learning. Where they differ, however, is in their approach of the activity. Extensive reading can be essentially also referred as a reading for a joy. Extensive means reading for joy. Intensive means reading for gaining some control, to gain some points, to get some knowledge. In extensive reading, this approach advocates reading as much as material in your target language as humanly possible. This way, it advocates claim that you will be exposed to the widest range of vocabulary and grammatical structures. All of this supposed to make you better a language learner and help you on the way to your fluency. Okay, this is extensive reading. Intensive reading on the shorthand, on the other hand, you can say focus on closely following a short text, doing exercises with it and learning it in detail. According to this approach, this helps language learners really understand the language of the grammar and syntax of the given passage. The proponents of this method use range exercises to complement the reading itself. Foreign language students can, for example, read a short paragraph and then they answer the questions about the text, order sentences or find specific words. Both these methodologies have the advantages as well as disadvantages. I have listed them out. Okay, let's take the last question. Decoding. There are two more questions to come. Decoding stands. Deciphering the sounds in words and sentences, passing a message, only recognizing the difference between the sounds, failure to understand the given context. Here the right answer, option A. Decoding stands for deciphering sounds in words and sentences, hence option A is the correct. Last one, the process of second language acquisition is influenced by the languages that the learner already knows. The influence is. What kind of influence is? Here the influence is language transfer. The process of second language acquisition is brought about by the language transfer. This is very, very important. A boy or a girl who was born and brought up in an environment where different language is used, he gains some vast mastery over that language. It's a universal grammar, LAD, we can say linguistic acquired ability. He develops that using that he gains the mastery over other languages. So that's the that way you can say it's a language transfer. That's it, friends. Up to now we have discussed some of the questions which are very important in the context of CTET and other exams. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.